So, okay, Frank. So now we'll look at your bike in more detail. So here we see a picture of the front of the bike. And what I noticed is that there is no lights and there is no mudguard on your bike.
Yes.
So
I skipped the mudguards because I'm only riding on good weather conditions. Okay. So the mudguards are not necessary for my approach. Yeah, and during a tour, when it will start raining, then of course we got wet, and I can live with that.
Yeah. Okay. So and the lights, do you use removable lights then?
Yes. From my time in mountain biking, I have Lupine and Sigma lights, and so I put it to the handlebar, to the seat post, and on the helmet.
Okay, so now we'll have a look at the braking system. So can you tell us a bit more about the braking system? Here we see the front wheel with
yes.
Caliper and disc.
Yes. So for me, it's always important to have absolutely reliable braking system under any condition. And so it was quite normal that I put in the maximum rotor sizes. That means 203 millimeter in the front and a 4-piston brake. And I choose the Magura system because all my bikes had Magura. I always had very good experiences, and it's very powerful, it's quiet, it's easy to set up, it's easy to adjust. But during my time with Magura, I discovered that the Trickstuff disc rotors are improving the braking performance, and also the Trickstuff brake pads. Yeah. And so I have the Magura MT Sports with the Trickstuff brake pads and the ultralight disc rotors. Okay. I can choose these ultralight disc rotors because they are more than 2 millimeters thick. And so I never had problems with this. You can see that I have no coloring on the rotor. Even it's now more than 4,500 kilometers. And when I ride, when I commute to work, I have a downhill with 18%. And my top speed I reached and recorded by Strava was 92.9 kilometers, and there's no issue with even braking from such high speed.
Okay, 92 kilometers an hour is really fast. Eh? So you never experienced the speed wobble while going that fast with your bike?
No, I read lots in the forums that people have issues with speed bubble. But I have no explanation why that can occur. In my opinion, it's a question of maintenance and setting up the right tire pressure and so on. Due to my 24 hours racing experience, I'm used to set up the right pressure, tire pressure before every ride. So when I have 2 rides a day, I do it 2 times a day.
Yeah.
So yeah. I've always the absolutely precisely same tire pressure. I'm doing all the inspection and services and maintenance by myself. So everything will always be like it should be.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason why I never experienced speed bubble.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Now let's have a look at the gearing system on your bike.
Yes.
Okay, so here we have a picture of the back of your bike with the Cassettte derailleur and the chainstay.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about the gearing system.
Yes, I start in the front of the drivetrain. So the shifter is Shimano XT 11 speed. The rear derailleur is also Shimano XT 11 speed. Then the latest Shimano crankset, but with a Garbaruk chainring, because it's only half the weight of the Shimano one. But the reason not using the Shimano is that with Shimano I had experience that the chain can fall off when the road or the track is not good. And with the Garbaruk, I made the experience, I never had the situation that the chain fall down. Then the bottom bracket is also Shimano XT, the SPD pedals are Shimano XT, and also the chain. With the Cassettte, I preferred the Sunrace, the CSMS8. It's 11 to 36 teeth, and the important thing for me is that the smaller ones are 11, 12, 13. And when you have a Shimano version, then you have always 11, 13, 15. And the gap or the difference between 11 and 13 is too big. I have a chainring, 32 teeth, and for my way of driving with 25 kilo Lotta in front, I'm not able to run faster than 35 kilometers on the flat. And with 32 in front and 11 in the back, it's my favorite cadence. And when it's a little bit windy and or slightly uphill, then I not have to go to 13, because then the gap is too big, but then I have the 12 in between, so it's perfect. And so 11, 12, 13, 15 and so on, that's my way of driving. I don't need more than 36 in the back. Even I have on the way back home from the office an uphill of 18%, but I always get out of the saddle because I'm used to do this. I'm not climbing with sitting in the saddle. I always leave the saddle, and then I can push stronger gears.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll go to the handlebar, to the cockpit. So so now we see a picture of the handlebar and the cockpit of your bike. So can you tell us a bit more about all that stuff?
Yes, my decision to take Thomson is because I love the design. The Thomson stem, the Thomson handlebar, and everything from Thomson is a little bit heavier than necessary. But in my opinion, it's bomb-proof. I also have a bike for the bike park, and this is also equipped with Thomson. And even when you crash, I never had bad experience that I have a defect on the handlebar or the stem or something like this. And so I accept the few grams extra, and I'm always very happy when I have a look on the design of Thomson.
So we see the handlebar, and the stem is also Thomson, and then
yes, it's a Thomson Elite X4. Yeah. And it's 70 millimeters length.
Yeah. Okay. Here we can see a more detailed picture of the stem, and then we see the closing cap on top of it with Velution.
Yes.
So that means you have some Velution parts installed.
Yes. The latest one is the carbon steering rod. To be honest, I bought it to have a cleaner look and to save weight. Because in my case, I saved 777 gram compared to the original Larry versus Harry steering rod and the Easy Up speed lifter. But when having mounted it, I discovered that it's much stiffer, and in the same time it's even more comfortable to ride, because it takes out the vibration when you are riding on gravel, for instance. And what was very surprising for me is you have a much more precise cornering. So in the beginning I accepted that the cargo bike will not follow as precise as a mountain bike or a cyclocross bike or a gravel bike. But with a carbon steering rod, these properties were improved so much that I can now have a much higher cornering speed. This is very important when driving with Lotta, because when I would crash with Lotta on board, she will not trust me anymore, and that would be the worst thing which can happen.
Yeah,
but it's perfect. It's so, the steering is so exact, and and nobody will believe me, but it's a different bike.
Yeah, yeah.
Only a carbon steering rod replacing the original stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because most people think about the carbon rod to get some weight of the bike, but
yes.
It's also interesting to hear that it also makes the steering more agile and precise.
Yes. Yeah, you describe it very good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then we'll have a look what's more on the handlebar. So you have a bell installed. It's a
it's the Oi bell.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 20 gram, and it's loud enough to get the interest of the persons in front of me, but it's calm enough not to make them angry. Yeah. So it's perfect. And you can see also my Ergon grips, which I prefer because there I can do long distance rides without getting trouble with my hands.
Yeah. Okay. So now we go over to everything concerning the wheels. So here we see another picture of your front wheel. So can you tell us a bit more about like the choice of rim spokes and tires?
I bought the frame set from Larry versus Harry and was not sure about the wheel set. So to be able to drive as soon as possible, I bought the original one. And Larry versus Harry seller told me that it's not possible, it's not tubeless ready. So I inspected it and I decided to make a try. And the place where the rim is connected was so precisely managed or manufactured that there is no chance that air will gone. I had to make some experiments with a tubeless tape because in the end I needed a 32 millimeter tubeless tape getting exactly to the corners, and then it was totally easy to make a tubeless setup. So I prefer running all my bikes tubeless with Schwalbe Dog Blue latex milk. And I started with a Schwalbe Kojak, which is a perfect tire for the Bullitt when you want to have a sporty one, but it's very uncomfortable for the passenger in the front. And then I went back to the initial Schwalbe Marathon or Schwalbe Marathon. And it has less grip, it has a higher rolling resistance, and it's still not comfortable. But due to the bigger size, you can run it with lower pressure. And then I discovered the Continental Contact Urban, which is available in 2.0 by 20 for the front. That means 50 millimeters wide, and it's quite lightweight. So the holes, front and rear tire together, are only 970 gram compared to 1480 gram of the Schwalbe. Okay. Of course, the Schwalbe Kojak is only 600 grams front and rear tire, but it's no solution for riding with Lotta. And so the Continental Contact Urban has a very, very low rolling resistance, which I didn't expect it. And together with a tubeless setup and the Dog Blue, I never had a puncture. So, and that's why I'm still riding with the initial wheel set.
Yeah, okay. Here we see a picture of your saddle and the saddle post. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes. When you have the stem and the handlebar from Thomson, it's a must-have to have also the seat post from Thomson. And compared to the carbon flat bar and the stem, the seat post is very light. For aluminium seat posts, only 225 gram. In my opinion, it's light. The saddle is from Specialized. It's a Phenom, and I always ride Specialized saddles because during my Team Alpecin mountain bike time, I got a fitting by Specialized, and they recommended me this saddle, and it's perfectly fitting to my S. And even when having a 24 hours solo ride, I have no pain. So then why should I change running system?
Can you tell us a bit about the cargo bay area, what you've put on and how did you manage the cargo bay?
Yes, I have the Velution Veluboard S because it's very lightweight. It's only 1580 gram and it's perfectly fitting to the Fahrer Bowl. Mm-hmm. Which is from Fahrer Berlin. It's made from truck tarp and also very lightweight. It's only 660 gram. And the big advantage of the Fahrer Bowl is when riding with a dog, the dog can jump in and out without having hard contacts. So if my dog is not jumping high enough or leaving too quickly, the tarp is flexible.
Yeah, she can't hurt herself.
Yes, and usually she is sitting in the bike to have a better overview because she's very curious about the surroundings. And when she's tired, she lies in the bike, and then the flexible tarp is more comfortable than a side panel. Then I also mounted the VeluBoard S for the back, mounted with two Ortlieb bags in L.
Yeah.
So then I have a luggage room 2 times 3 liters. In the left one there is a plastic cup for Lotta to fill in the water. That's why she has her own bottle holder. On the left side, and then there is special food for Lotta to make her a little bit happy, some snacks. and of course the dog leash, which I don't use during riding, but when we leave, when we park the bike and have a short trip to the ice parlor or somewhere else, then of course I put on the dog leash.
Yeah.
And on the right side, there's my bottle holder. It's from Elite, an Italian company. It's not carbon, it's a special plastic compound, and the weight is somewhere in between a pure carbon and a pure plastic version. And it's very easy to get the bottles in and out, but it's also secure when you have a bumpy road. And on my Ortlieb bag is a rain jacket and some tools, and of course, for the worst case, 2 tubes for front and rear. But I'm riding tubeless since 2006, and there was only one time where I installed a tube.
So then I think we covered like the complete bike. Do you have something else that you would like to add to the list?
Yes, of course, a Bullitt is not perfect. I would not be unhappy when it has a better tire clearance in the back, but I understand Larry versus Harry that they limit the tire clearance to be able to mount also a road crankset, which has a smaller Q factor, and also to run bigger chain rings. And then you have no space for the right chainstay, especially when you design the chainstays as short as possible, like Larry versus Harry has done it.
Okay. So and then one final question. It's a question that I ask all bulletteers that I interview. So when money was no object, what would your ultimate cargo bike or bullet cargo bike would look like, would be assembled?
It will be quite close to the current version. But of course, my dream wheel set is from Quierder, Frankfurt, and it's a carbon composite wheel set, which has only 6 spokes, and it's totally stiff and also very lightweight. But it has nearly the same price like the displayed Bullitt.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to convince my wife, but I'm still trying.
Okay.
And there's a second thing which I really will realize is to have the masterpiece seat post from Thomson, which is from carbon fiber, and the saddle from Prologio, which is an Italian company, and the Stretch M5 saddle. And then,
then the list is complete, and then it's your ultimate.
Then mission accomplished.
So thank you for your time.
And yes, I'm very happy that I become a part of your episodes. Because it's a very, very interesting, and every time when a new version is published, I immediately take a look on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
See you. Have a nice weekend.
And please continue with your episodes the next years.
Yeah, I'll try. If there's still bulletteers out there that want to show their bikes and tell about it, then it will continue. It will for sure. Okay. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye.